Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, got Steve in the shop again, and we're kind of taking a day. This is not a how-to. This is just like us decompressing, so to speak, working on freight train. So freight train's in need of some service because, well, it's been ignored. Honestly, it's been ignored for way too long because, well, we've been busy in the shop. But with that being said, we've got everything here to do the fuel filter and oil change, which was last done in 24. Before you start hating on me, it's been less than 5,000 miles. So it didn't like it. Not like I put 20 grand on it. Anyway, oil change. We're going to the Rotella 1540 synthetic this time instead of conventional oil. I had to put batteries in it recently because they died. But while it's in here, we're putting on a brand new set of tires. I'm going to take off the polished aluminum wheels that are on it, which are right here. They are dirty right now, but we'll probably be selling those. We're going to go back to the black steelies. Let me show you. So those will be coming off. We're going to go back to the black steelies that I plastisoled and or powder coated 3-4 years ago now. And it has 285 tires on it. We're going to go down to a 265, which is in between the 255 for the tires. And we're going to add 2-inch wheel spacers to give it a little bit more of aggressive stance. And with that being said, we're going to add the Rough Country 2-inch wheel spacers to it to get that stance, because those steelies are tucked way in. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and install, or in this process, we're going to install a set of manual fill, at least for now, manual fill airbags in the rear, because that bed is heavy, and then I start towing the excavator or anything else around, and she's squatted. We can't have that. So airbags are going in. All right, I already got the oil changed in it. Steve's already got it filled. The fuel filter's done. Now we're cycling the key to prime the filter. Ready? How many of you guys have seen one of these oil change little slots where you'd actually just manually write out a paper for when your oil change is due and you'd slide it in there? Like, that is old school. Do you remember these? You ever see these?
No.
No? That's like an old school thing.
That's awesome.
All right, so our beautiful, basically our 17-inch Alcoa replicas are coming off. And they're nice. I powder coated the lug nuts. They're sharp looking. We're probably going to sell them just because I'll clean them up real nice this spring. Got a nice set of Michelins on them, but it's a lot of maintenance for a truck that's like a work truck and a tow pig. It's never that clean. So I need to go back to something simple. And then we got some aggressive tires that we're putting on it as well, because it is a 2-wheel drive truck. So you need some aggressive tires to get in and out of some of the places that I get into, whether it's welding or doing some excavation that I do on the side or whatever that is. But anyway, I'm rambling. I've had too much coffee. Yeah. Never. Don't damage my nice lug nuts, bub. All right, this is the airbag setup. Looks like Torque parts. I don't even know why I got this brand, honestly, because I typically wouldn't. I've had them a long time, like since the spring last year. It's almost been a year, and I haven't put them in yet. So I don't know why I got this brand, but we're going to learn together if these are any good. But let's be honest, I'm sure it had something to do with the price. That's why I got them. Because at the end of the day, what am I called, Steve? A schneeschnaw. Do you ever know that? Schneeschnaw means, well, you're cheap. I'm thrifty, not cheap. Or frugal. Yeah. So I guess in the box, everything looks good. Comes with a cutter, comes with a line, which is red, which is awful. I don't want to put red lines under that truck. So I do have some extra lines from other jobs, so we'll put the black. Whole bunch of hardware. The bags look pretty rugged, honestly. I can't remember the rating on them, but we'll find out if they'll hold. And then comes with brackets. However, I already know the brackets are going to line right up with our flatbed bracket, which is going to require either cutting that off or cutting these brackets or welding something. I don't know. And I oil undercoated this snot out of this truck. So that makes it way more fun. And we did brakes last spring, I think. We did the front rotors and everything on this truck, which is cool. So it's got new brakes on it. This is what I was talking about, oil undercoating. But that's what makes these things last and not rust out, but also suck to work on. All right, as expected, we ran into our first problem. They want you to mount the bracket. Although I knew this was going to happen, like so, because it's going to hit our bracket on the flatbed. However, I think we're going to find out we can mount it this way, upside down, and then I clear everything and we're still good to go. So we're gonna put the bag in the bracket and then the bracket on the truck and see if that'll work. All right, Steve, will it work? Will it work, buddy?
I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Blow it.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely flipping that over and not relocating anything. Besides that, it's my truck and I can do what I want.
Blow it.
All right, done. No. So we test it and it looks like things will work. Because it looks like it's off center, but that's actually not in the center with the axle. So we got to kind of center the bag, which will hug hard against that bracket, but that's okay. We'll preload the bag a little bit. We'll mark our holes, and we will make sure there's no lines behind it and drill them. So the truck's on the lift, right? And I'm working on my knees.
What do you mean by that?
And yeah, why are we working this low, Steve? Oh God, we're gonna do this wayside because that would just make sense. All right, nothing but the best for this job. We took out the Harbor Freight Warrior bits, which are like one of the cheapest drill bit sets you can get. But to be honest with you, you use them, then you throw them out, and you buy another set, and they're actually not bad at all. And I'm cheap, right, Steve?
Frugal.
Well, Steve's drilling through the frame. We hope he doesn't plunge it into the side of that tank. Steve actually had a good point. We're gonna swap to the mag base after we get this first one because drilling like this sucks. And Evolution mag base is coming out with our super duper bits. Check that out. All right, mag base, not gonna happen. We don't have enough surface area to get the mag base here. I'm not gonna weld the plate on it and get fancy, so it's hand drilling. All right, I got to use my favorite tool, the grinder. We had to make a relief for the airbag to sit in there. Because remember we flipped the bracket upside down, what you shouldn't be doing, but we're doing it because it's my truck. We're baking the spray paint on. You see it smoking. This is from the grinding. Oil undercoating. Great stuff. Your vehicle won't rust, but be prepared to be messy when you work on it. We're over here working the other side. It's going faster because we did one and we got this big old stove pipe in our way. Free old freight train's gotta breathe. All right, since it's a non-paying job today, so we have got to treat ourselves to Las Olas, our favorite go-to Mexican restaurant, takeout restaurant, whatever. It's freaking delicious. Take my word for it. And very rarely do I stray from my go-to, which is going to be a steak burrito with basically absolutely everything on it, because I like to see if they can even roll it. Oh yeah, here's the challenging part. Oh yeah. So Steve has mystery buckets in the back of his truck that are spilling into the snow. I'm not gonna say what that looks like, but I think we know what that looks like, Steve.
Times are tough, okay?
All right, so we got our burritos. We're gonna go buy to the shop, stuff our faces, and get back to work on Freight Train, because that's what we're here to do today. And we're bringing you along with us. All right, now lunch is over. I swapped out that red hard line. I just don't need the bling to see these red airlines everywhere. I got a bunch of the black hard line. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna route them from the airbags that we just finished and into the back of my cargo box here because it keeps them out of the weather. And therefore, in the back up there, we'll have a right and a left to go ahead and fill these things up independently. We got our fittings. We're gonna have a right and a left, meaning like passenger side and driver's side, I guess. But yeah, now we're just gonna plumb the lines and we got our system. All right, so I labeled them backwards. Steve pointed that out. That's the right side of the truck. That's fine, but it's actually on the left side, like it's on my left, but I labeled it right.
Right is left, left is right.
Yeah, it's fine, right?
What's confusing about that?
And we're all plumbed all the way into the back of our fittings that are labeled backwards. But it's my truck, like I said 3 times. I actually forgot that I had also got this stuff a long time ago. And basically what it is the ability to run power from the front of the truck all the way to the rear of the truck and have jumper cables, the whole deal on your truck itself. And we can power a winch on the back of the truck. I'm gonna have this hard battery cable come up through, I don't know if you can see it, the center of the truck, that hatch there. Yep, where a gooseneck will go in. And then I'll be able to either plug my winch in, it goes into that receiver, or jumper cables, whatever I want. All right, on to the next thing, because I forgot I even had this. And the intent with those was to power this and jumper cables. But it's not really plumbed that way. It's kind of plumbed so your short lead goes right off your battery to the front of your truck someplace, and you can just plug in and jumper cables that way. Now I'm thinking we'll open this up and see if there's enough power wire to do the same thing I was gonna do, which is run from the battery to the center of the, with a gooseneck goes into it. So if there is, we'll just run this power cable to the rear. This is getting too heavy, too deep for a Saturday. So I'm gonna put one end of that cable plug in here. It's essentially our jumper cable because we're kind of making our own kit. And at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get power from the back of the truck to the front of the truck to plug in a winch or jumper cables, primarily the winch, which gets mounted here. Forgot to mention, always check for leaks. And once we did, the fitting on the top, which for some reason is always the fitting on the top on the airbags, was leaking both sides. So the pipe dope putty that comes on some of this stuff isn't great. So we took them out and put our own stuff on there. Just works better. Oh yeah, staying hard now.
What do you mean by that?
Oh yeah. All right, Steve's doing what he does best, holding the truck down. We don't want it to fly away.
Hey, it's an important role.
So what I did is I cut off the jumper cable end, and I got to get some lugs, some single lots that we figured out.
Yep.
Single lot lugs to get right to the battery, but it is run from the front of the truck all the way to the back of the truck into this connector. So now I'll be able to wire the winch up to the other plug so the winch can get plugged in and use it when we need to. And I can get another one of these and wire it into a set of jumper cables so if we wanted to use those. So yeah, I think now we'll do wheel spacers. Oh, hey look, Steve's doing what he does best this time. Holding
the seat down. It's an important job.
All right, wheel spacers on. We're gonna get some tires mounted and get them on the truck. All right, going back to the Steelies, getting rid of the aluminums and getting rid of the BFG 285s. And we're going to a 265 17 mud terrain on these Steelies. So pretty slick. And this truck being two-wheel drive, that is an awesome tire. And no, don't ask what the tire is. I can't tell you what the new tire is. I just can't. Take my word for it. I can't. Some things you just can't say. All right, they're on the truck. And yeah, we just got to get them tightened down. We'll be able to see the offset with the 2-inch wheel spacer. All right, Steve is not holding up the seat anymore. He is cranking down some lug nuts. Yes, we will torque them. I can prove it. It's 135 foot-pounds in the torque wrenches right there. All right, we're lowering that baby down. We're gonna torque the wheels. And yeah, I think it's a successful day on Bruiser. It's not Bruiser, damn it. My other Dodge is Bruiser, the other build. So, we're not done working on that truck yet. We're not done. So stay tuned. When I get back from Seacoast, we'll get cranking on that again. There you go. That kind of gives you an idea where the 2-inch wheel spacer will put you. It basically gives you a more aggressive stance, a wider stance, a little more stability with the tires and how far out they sit. And then we do have a center cap that's going to go on there as well. Oh yeah, and I broke my little stubby. It had a nice little white stubby antenna, and that got broke off. So I can try to get off what's left out of there, so I can get a new stubby antenna or possibly even a new base. I don't know, but something else I got to do while it's in here. Told you Freight Train was getting some love this weekend. Well, it's been a fairly long day. It's dark out. We were going to go outside and show you the truck outside, but it's like dark out. Of course, it's winter. It's dark out. Everybody basically hibernates. But Freight Train is done. She is done. New sneakers, wheel spacers. We did run our power cable from the back to the front. So I got to get some connectors for the battery. Then we'll be able to fire up our winch and get that going. That's going to help us pull stuff up on the trailer. What else did we do? Yep, tires, wheel spacers, airbags. We had a little off-camera struggle with the airbags. Remember how we said we'll just flip the bracket? I don't, you know what? It's okay to admit when you're wrong. We ended up having to flip the bracket back. We're not going to get into that because it's not on camera, honestly, all right?
Never happened.
But it never happened, except I'm telling you all that we screwed up. Both of us.
We recovered.
Team effort, but we recovered. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It was kind of just a little off-camera, like, hey, you know what? We're going to work on some of our own stuff, like when we work on Bruiser. But it was just a bunch of small things on Freight Train that she'd been neglected a little bit. And there's some more stuff coming. I'm going to put a remote switch panel inside on it. The antenna's a no-go, so I got to get a new antenna for it and a few other things. But, and then what else was I going to do? Something else. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for hanging with us today. And if you like the channel, or even if you don't like the channel, you probably still wouldn't be watching at this point if you didn't like the channel. So you must like the channel.
Hit that button.
Hit that button, right? What do we do, Steve? Hit that
button.
Like and subscribe button. And if anything else you want to do or know about, drop a comment as well. So, as always, thanks for watching. Scott and Steve, Flippin' Customize.